Welcome to Coaching in Session,
where limits end and growth begins.
Hosted by Michael Rearden.
This is your space to challenge the ordinary,
unlock your potential,
and step boldly into your next chapter.
Your mindset journey continues.
One of the things I think people struggle with the most day-to-day life and just in being connected to one another is an aspect of forgiveness. Now, this forgiveness can be a solitary type of deal with the mindset, or it could be something that is more collaborative, meaning you're going to be forgiving someone else. When we start to look at ourselves as the proponent for us to forgive, we might forgive ourselves for not taking action or for taking the wrong action, or maybe just for not being the person that we know we can become. This can lead to some issues with the mindset and how you feel, because you know deep down inside that you're not being accountable. You're not being accountable for everything that is in your life. Because there's a saying, if you want to know who's in charge of your life, the good and the bad, you look in the mirror. And when you look in that mirror, do you see someone who is proactive, someone who's disciplined, someone who is treating life as an urgency rather than a comfortable stroll in the park? We have to understand that there's going to be different stages of our life. Some are going to require us to spearhead things and to go full on with no breaks and maybe even no end in sight. And then there's going to be moments when we get to sit back, relax, experience the reward of what life is giving us, is allowing us to have or appreciate. Well, this idea, when we get stuck in something, this idea, the mindset or the life cycle, whatever it be, we need to be able to be flexible in how we approach that. And today we're going to be focusing on the healing aspect. We're going to be focusing on the accountability aspect. We're going to be focusing on the next step aspect. All of these are going to truly help us get to the next stage in life if we feel stuck or if we feel as if we hit a plateau. Now, we do have some help here. We do have our latest article, Why Healing Without Accountability Keeps People Stuck. Now, this article is, I'm going to say, a must read. I understand, Michael, I don't want to read. Can't you just tell me everything? Yes, I could. But the article does such a good job at guiding you step to step from one feeling to another. It's almost as if the mindset was written for the common senses of people who would be reading this article. Now, what I want you to be paying attention to is that healing is going to be personal. Of course, this is going to be, in a sense, a one fit all, like a one tool fit all type of thing, where guess what? People are just going to read it and they can say, well, I can utilize this, or no, this is not something I can utilize. Maybe for certain areas, you might say this is beneficial. And maybe for certain areas, you're like, this is not helpful. And I'm going to explain that because some people can't forgive another person. Think of it this way. If someone does you wrong, can you forgive them? Whether it be a partner, it be a best friend, a parent, a sibling, it doesn't matter who. Can you forgive someone who has done wrong to you? Now, I know even in the world, general life, whether it be you get in a car accident and you can't forgive the person, they ruined your day, right? They ruined your life. Possibly, yes. They could have done that. And I remember even for me dealing with some of my issues with car accidents or fender benders, it's not easy. Sometimes you have to go to your insurance and you have to deal with the headache and, of course, the liability that is there. And you might ask, why me? Why do I have to deal with this? And this is what happens in life. A lot of people, they just kind of shove off this idea of why me, right? That's a privilege that you get to feel that you get to experience that you get to deal with that you get to walk through it and figure out the solution for that, right? Because at the end of it, you come out, whether positive or negative, it's a learning lesson. Now, when I got into my second fender bender, it was like an 18-year-old girl who had reached down for her laptop and she left the smallest mark on my bumper. And of course, I just operate under, if I can see it, it needs to get fixed. And so I basically told her, unfortunately, we do have to get this fixed. There is a visible mark. If there was no mark, or if something I could wipe off like a little smudge, I would have been perfectly fine saying, be more careful and see you later. Now, if I did that, let's say there was an imperfection there, and I say, you know what, don't worry about it. See you later, right? Now, in her mind, she might have said, oh my goodness, I got so lucky, and might have done it again. Versus she had a learning lesson to go through the insurance process and then figuring out the mediation process for how we were going to resolve our issue. No police were called. I was willing to work with her and her parents to try to figure out the best economical solution for them. Because I don't know if you have realized, car parts and car labor and expenses are expensive. Even gas is expensive. So you can only imagine what it would be to paint a bumper for one little nick. It's amazing how much it costs. So for her, it was more of, I've learned because I've made a fault, versus I got lucky. Maybe I can try my luck again. And this is true for across the board, right? People learn by getting burned. They go, I got burned. I don't want to feel that again. Now, I say all this because I want to come full circle into this idea of what it is like to get hurt or to get burned or to go through a situation where you are learning and then you are recovering, you're experiencing the healing process. Because if I decided to touch the stove and I got burned, sure, one day I'm going to get healed. Maybe I can look at my arm or I can look at my finger and I can see a scar for a period of time. And maybe even I forget that it is there and I just treat it as every common day life. Like, oh, this is just a part of me now. But I have to be the one to say, I am the one who didn't do the right thing. I didn't check the stove. I put my hand too close to the fire. I can't say it's the stove's fault for burning me. I can't say it is the landlord's or the bank's fault for not advising me on the dangers of what it is to have a gas stove in the house. I mean, we can go down the list of the blame game. But when you start to blame others, it keeps you stuck in the sense of, if you blame someone, it's like waiting for someone to do something for you. I'm waiting for you to say that you were wrong, or I'm waiting for you to ask for forgiveness or to say sorry. I'm waiting for you. And in life, that is not what we want. We do not want to wait for people. I know men out there, you have to wait for your wives to get ready. It takes them 2 hours. It takes you 2 minutes. But during that time, you could do something hopefully fun for yourself, right? So this idea of more than just waiting for a moment that can be a great experience, right? You go on a date, you go on a trip, you do something along those lines. Now, what I will say is, if you are waiting for people to do something that you know that you're responsible for, or you should be responsible for, this is a mindset now. This is something that you have to begin to deal with. Think of it this way. If I wanted to graduate from college, right? I wanted to graduate from college. I wanted to get a new master's degree or a doctorate degree. And I said, all right, well, I can't get this degree right now because I'm still dealing with all the trauma from all my student loans, and it was so stressful and it was so tough. I remember this one professor, they were so mean to me and they gave me a bad grade, and I just can't risk going back to school and getting all this debt again and finding another professor that's mean to me, and I don't know if I can mentally, physically handle that. Right? The stress, the struggle, to the promise of a degree that may or may not come if you can't stay committed. So this idea that I am blaming the professor, I'm blaming the student loans. It's showing that I haven't healed from what I have experienced. Because how many people in the world would kill for an education? They would say, I don't care what it will cost me, I'm going to get an education. And so they will pay the bill and they will do it gladly. They will go through the hard professors and they will do it with a smile. They will learn from their mistakes and they will learn from the world and what the world is trying to teach them. But for the people who say that they can't go back because of all those hardships, you're going to find yourself to be stuck there. Now, I've been talking about a little bit about your own personal life. I talked about like schooling as an example, but I wanted to get into some real examples because if we look at something that is really big in relationships, because we can really understand relationships quite easy. It doesn't matter your age. You could be in high school. Think of a time in high school, if you are past high school, or if you're in high school, think about the time when you're in high school, right? Or a time that has recently passed where someone has done wrong to you or by you. Maybe you told them a secret and they spilled the beans. They started to tell the whole class about this, and you're like, I told you this in confidence. I can't believe you betrayed me. And so now you are embarrassed and you're just basically wishing that you have never been alive or something, right? You just are literally in that place. Now, the relationship is fractured. We know that between you and the individual, right? The person who spilled the beans told your secret. Well, can you forgive that person for doing you wrong? Or would you basically say, I can never tell you another secret. I can never forgive you again. And this is all a mindset here. Because there are people who can forgive and forget, but then there are people who forgive and remember. Now, the difference is if I forgive and forget means I am going to forgive you for the wrongdoings and I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Now, if I forgive and I remember, I'm always going to hold that against you. If something starts to happen where you're trying to prove your credibility or your worth, I'm going to say, remember that time I told you that secret and you didn't follow through with it and you did that instead? You're rehashing the old bits, right? You're bringing up trauma that should have already been buried. It's like you are bringing up negativity for no reason when you're trying to be more positive in your relationship. This accountability has to come from both sides. It's not just, all right, well, you have to take responsibility for doing me wrong. And since you took it, I don't have to worry about it, right? Sure, right? That's one aspect. But you have to take accountability for not wanting to bring it up again. Or you have to take accountability that you were done wrong and it's okay now. You have forgiven, you have forgotten. But there's this idea too. Can you be the bigger person that can forgive and continue to be in this type of relationship? Now, me, I'm a one type of guy because if you can be disloyal to somebody once, what's stopping you from doing it again? I like to think of it as when you're running on a treadmill or you're running on the track, the moment you stop, it becomes more challenging to start back running and not stopping again. So this is just to say that you're going to get into a flow with this person where you are always stopping because there's always a problem. There's always going to be a hiccup along the way. I don't want that. I don't want that headache. I don't want to deal with something that is not consistent. I like consistency. This is why I drive a certain type of car and I won't switch cars regardless of what the world has to offer. Again, I was looking at them. I was like, oh, this is a nice car. Oh, man, this has this feature. My car doesn't have that feature. And it was not so much about what the car can bring me or give me or make me feel. It's about how I feel about the car. I want something that's reliable. I want a person that's reliable. And if you have shown me that you can be reliable, that is something that is going to, again, it's a bad taste in my mouth. Now, here's what I do. I forgive and I remember. I you don't have to worry about apologizing. I don't need you to do that for me. I just want to understand that what has happened and it's water under the bridge. I have forgiven you. Now, this is going to cue their mind. Oh, great. We could be friends. No. That bridge or that boat has sailed. We're no longer that anymore. I am going to keep on moving, and you're allowed to go on a different path and keep on moving there. And eventually we will separate far enough where we're not going to worry about each other anymore. Of course, you might think about them, think about the memories, and there's nothing wrong with thinking about the past. But you do have to give yourself this idea of, I'm doing this to heal. I'm doing this because this is going to make me stronger. I can get rid of something that is no good rather than keeping something that is not good for my life. Because if I said every single day you're going to drink some poison and every evening I'm going to give you the antidote, maybe you'll develop an immunity to the poison, but that's risky business there. And there's so many negativities, so many poisons, so many hurdles and obstacles that we don't need that in our life. So we need to figure out what we need to focus on. Now, in this article, because I was talking quite a bit, and this is why I want you to read the article. In this article, we talk about modern culture and basically how people are mistaking their wounds for their identity. Well, think of like Black people, right? Like, this is something that doesn't happen with everyone, right? But it happens to some. I can't believe we were slaves and you owe us some money because we had to go through all that hardship. And basically they're living on the crutch of their ancestors. I mean, okay, great, whatever. And they're spending all of this time analyzing all of the hurt that has happened to their people, to themselves, or whatever. They feel as if they were oppressed. In America, sure, there might be some prejudice and some oppression, but even there, I mean, it's so minuscule. If you don't allow it to be there, it won't be there. If I get pulled over by the police, if I get stopped for doing something wrong, I can literally speak. Just regular talk. I don't have to be the victim. I don't have to be hurt. I take accountability if I did something wrong. And then that party sees it versus I'm the victim, you're picking on me. And this is where many of the people are heading. And this is not where true healing is going to be. You have to be able to say, okay, what is going on, and be able to fluently understand what's going on and then operate under those circumstances and those means. Not, oh my goodness, you're treating me this way because I'm this person. And hey, it might happen. I'm not saying it won't, but you have to be bigger. My skin color has no reflection on anything that I do. All right. My status as a male has nothing to do with anything that I am doing or will do. I know what I'm capable of. I know the areas where I got hurt, and I know how to heal from them. Most people would run away from all of the hardships, all of the moments that they had to heal from, all of the negativities of what the world is, and they'll try to live more comfortable rather than face it head on. Versus me, I might say, I want to experience this angst. I want to experience this friction just for a moment. It's temporary. Because most people are living in this temporary comfort, pity party me, poor me. Oh, you should feel sorry for me. Oh my goodness, I have to take some time off because I hurt my leg. And I'm not saying that we do not allow due diligence. What I'm saying is that we need to be bigger than our lesser self. And there's too many people who are operating in the sense of they got hurt. They got a boo-boo. And now they can't show up today. Oh, I don't feel good. Today's not my day. I had a guest that was supposed to come on a couple of weeks ago. They were like, hey, I'm going to have to cancel my recording with you. I go, okay, what's going on? They're like, well, my voice is kind of messed up. And, I don't want to, come on and, not sound right. You know what? For the past 2 weeks, I've been sick. You might not have recognized it on the podcast because I don't care. meaning I don't care if I'm sick. If I have to do something, it's going to get done. It doesn't matter how I feel. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym. If I don't feel like getting up and, playing with the kids, I get up and I play with the kids, because you're just starting to build this mindset inside of you saying, it doesn't matter what I want or what I want to feel. It matters what needs to get done, because there's always a version of ourselves that's going to be in a better place. It's going to be ahead of us. And we can either choose to aim for that person and to do the things that are going to help us get closer to that person every single day, or we could do the things that are going to retract us, keep us still, keep us stagnant. And oftentimes, when a person is healing, whether it be mentally or physically, if they're not taking some level of accountability, they're staying stuck exactly where they are. And so this article is talking about how a person can heal and become accountable so they don't allow themselves to get stuck. Now, this is all to say that we are going to experience struggle. We're going to experience breakthrough if you do the right thing. The issue is that you have to understand that life is not going to be perfect. Life is not going to be exactly how you want it all the times. There are many things in my life where I say, that could be better. I could do something different there. Oh, someone stole my idea. I wasn't quick enough, right? So this is for me to say, I can blame all day long. I can say, oh, the world is so mean to me. It's moving so fast. And, since it's moving so fast, I'm not going to take any action today. I'm not going to take any action in life. What's the point? I have this illness. I have this cancer. I have this diabetes. Guess what? I understand that you're going through it. I understand that you might be really, really sick. I'm not belittling that, but you have to be a person that wants to fight the fight. In order to heal, you have to fight. Your body has to fight. Think of it this way. I had lost my voice the other week, right? As I was saying, like my voice wasn't regular. The pain that I felt from losing my voice, not mentally, but the physical pain was, I don't know if I ever felt it before, but it was definitely of an inconvenience. It was just an annoying pain. And I was just like, am I always going to feel this way? And I could have been, I can't talk, I can't do this because my voice is gone, or, I'm sick, so I can't go to work, or I can't meet with my clients. No, it's business as usual, baby. I don't care. And neither should you. If you know you have to heal, heal. If you know you need a break, take a break. But don't take a break because you feel as if you needed that break, like you earned that break. You didn't earn anything. Life doesn't allow you just to earn a break. Every single day is an opportunity to be better. And unless you're getting better, there's no breaks. And most people are stuck the same version of themselves that they were last week, last month, last year. It's going to be an eye-opening experience. Most people are living on this identity of their broken selves, their broken mindsets. What are you going to do about it? You have to start to build something. You have to allow your wounds to heal, of course, but you can't just say that, oh, I broke my leg. I have to feel ready in order for me to walk again. No, you're not going to feel ready for a lot of things. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect moment. This is the accountability I'm talking about when you must heal, whether it be from trauma that you had at work or in your relationships, or a personal self-inflicted thing like you got burned or you broke your leg or you have an illness like cancer or diabetes. I'm not saying it's easy. Life is not easy. Life can be extremely challenging. But the fact that it's not easy can make it rewarding. That's what someone told me today about parenting. They go, it's rewarding. And I go, yeah, you're right. It is rewarding. It's not something you think about. You just think about the ebb and flow of what you have to do. Do they have food? Do they have shelter? Do they have clothes? Are they loved? Right? Like we look at all of those different things. And if we as parents can say that we did it, then we can say we did a good job that day. But just because we did for them, what are we doing for us as well? This is the same aspect to a mom and a dad, or a man and a woman. The woman might say, I'm going to focus on my kids and not my husband anymore when the kids come along. When those kids are, yeah, sure, they're a bonus to it, but it's the marriage first. So it's this idea of you can complain about what your life is right now. You can say that things are perfect or things are not perfect or things will never be perfect. But life is a series of imperfections. And if we have enough of them, eventually we can glue in some good pieces and we focus on those. Because a flower that's growing in the middle of the road through a crack in the concrete, many people are not going to look at all the rubble, all the black tar. They're going to see a flower blooming. They're going to say, wow, the possibilities are there. And today we have a possibility for change. We have a possibility for growth. We have a possibility for us. So if you are a person who's struggling with this identity of struggle, of healing or allowing your scars to be visible today still, and I'm not talking about visible meaning like you can see them, but I'm saying mentally, I can't do this because I've gotten into an accident, or I can't do this because I got hurt before. We learn from our lessons, yes, but we do not allow those lessons to keep us grounded. A plane that has had a malfunction gets repaired, similar to people. If we get a boo-boo, we get a cut, the body naturally repairs itself. We don't think about it. But when it comes to the mind, we have to think about it. And many people don't want to rehash that healing process, that hard mode, that thing that might make them feel insecure or unworthy. Whatever the feeling you get, understand that we must dive into it fully because it's going to bring about something more, a healing that is not only going to help us rebuild our life, help us be accountable, help us become more disciplined, to help us be a better version of ourselves when another negativity comes. Because right now there can be sun rays and everything is good in your life. And one day it's going to rain and it might storm and it might flood and it might crack or overflow the dams. And you might begin to become worried. But if you've done the work, if you're prepared, there's nothing that can stop you. If something deters you, just understand that you can reclaim all of the ground that was lost. So there's no injury, there's no mindset that you cannot overcome. Check out this article again. It's really going to be an eye-opening experience for many of the individuals, because if you are trying to heal and you're not holding yourself accountable, you're going to find yourself stuck and you're going to find yourself looking for solutions. It's not going to be the easy way. It's going to be a teeth-pulling, grueling experience if you're not going to say, it is I who am responsible for my life and all the things that come with it.